Welcome everyone to Thursday Night Live. What a treat and what a blast we're going to have tonight, because if you've been following us the past few weeks, the party continues, and tonight will be special. That I promise you. And we have a special guest that will share something that has the potential to change your life, because it'll change your patients' lives. That's a fact. We know it well. And before we get started here, actually, I want to apologize to you guys up front, because last week, as you probably remember, when we signed off, we actually signed off and we said, this is probably it. In other words, this was the fourth of 4 weeks in a row. And you guys have loved it. You've loved it for a lot of reasons. As you know, each week we've given away some amazing gifts. We're going to do the same thing here tonight. And then what happened was, an incredible thing happened. And what happened was our email box blew up. And when I say blew up, what I mean is that we had a lot of doctors that said, how can you leave us now? Then they did that like little winky sign, you know, that little wink where like that little emoticon or whatever that is. And so I spoke to Dr. Kaplan about it, and Dr. Kaplan, in his genius, said this. And he said, these are unique times. And because they're so unique, why don't we, for at least the next few weeks, continue the party? In other words, let's continue doing Thursday Night Live. So I'm happy to share and happy to say that at least for the next few weeks, we're going to keep the party going, and we've got a lot of stuff to share with you, especially during these times. And if you've ever come to any of our boot camps, if you've ever come to especially the Chiro event, which we'll talk about here, and I'm looking at some doctors that this week, as a matter of fact, grabbed some seats to the Chiro event. Congratulations, Dr. Korb, for grabbing a seat and more. I'll go through the list later, but a bunch of you guys jumped over all the opportunities that we had last week. And so bad news, good news. All right. So the bad news is there's just a handful of seats left. The good news is that there's a handful of seats left, and possibly by tonight, those seats may be gone. We'll see. All right. But we're going to do something very unique and very, very special here tonight. So we're going to continue to do Thursday Night Live for at least the next few weeks, as we start to empower you and give you tools. Because let me tell you something, if there was ever an opportunity that exists, that opportunity is here right now. And the reason why is simple, and that is, the last time that I checked, you're wearing the heavyweight championship of the world. In other words, you're wearing your title, and your title is DR. And let's not be fooled. There are so many people in your market, in your demographic, in your area, inactive patients and active patients, that depend upon you for guidance, for support, for leadership. And I got to tell you that when you get excited about something, like I'll give you an example. A few weeks ago, if you remember, when we were doing Thursday Night Live, I spoke about my day, right? And you guys like jumped all over that, and you said this was awesome. And I showed one thing, if you remember, and I pulled up some alkaline water. Do you remember seeing that? And you guys fell in love with that, because remember, when we create an alkaline environment, it creates healthy cells. And at the end of the day, your job is to increase immunity. And as chiropractors, there's no one on the planet that's better positioned for this. But unless you get excited about this and share your goodness, share your knowledge, share your input, and give your patient directions as to exactly what they need to do right here, right now, this is an incredible opportunity. I'm getting emails every week now from doctors that are closing packages, like incredible, like cash $4, $5, $6, $7,000 packages, cash-based packages, and in multiples in this environment. And I love to see that. And some of them are actually on here tonight, which is fantastic. So thanks for joining us. We got a lot of stuff to go over here tonight. So what I want to do here, first and foremost, is we're going to kick it off here tonight by bringing in as you know, really the brain trust of Thursday Night Live. The person who, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't really be doing this, because last week would have been our last week. You guys loved it, and there's a reason you loved it. I think it's part of the gifts. I think the gifts are incredible. But I also think, as we always say in every boot camp, every Chiro event, it's always about one thing. In other words, one thing can change everything. So as we take the complicated and we turn it into the simple, because that's your obligation as a doctor. Your job as a doctor is to take heavy duty medical jargon, medical vocabulary, and break it down to the simple. And if you can communicate that to patients, then guess what? You're going to grow, and your practice is going to grow, and you're going to have a great time, because patients will resonate with your message. So with regards to communication, what an honor for me to bring on Dr. Kaplan, because at the end of the day, he's the king of the C word, and the C word is communication. Dr. K, are you with us?
I'm with you, baby.
All right, beautiful.
Hey, thought I get to see my son and his wife. For time I get to see Jason and Stephanie. Hey, kids. You know, it's very funny. My wife has also been in quarantine, and food has been very weak, so she wanted to come onto the program today and say hello to everybody. She hasn't eaten in a while, but you got to understand something. Listen, these are the tough times. These are, honey, are you feeling okay? Did you see Bridget? Look, point to her. There she is. Good. So anyway, the point that I'm saying to you is listen, you got to enjoy life, fellas. Even Buzz. Hey, listen, great things this week. So watch this. Let me give you some highlights. Frankie and Pietro. Frank, raise your hand. Frank closed how many cases this week? Give me a number. Frankie and Pietro, Stuart, Florida, closing cases. Michael Smith, who's on, maybe we'll let him sneak in a couple of minutes later, Perry, who's been dealing with first responders, bought them lunch. You talk about a guy that's stepping outside of the box. Michael Smith is truly the guy that's stepping outside of the box. You talk about Troy Drayling, who's not here right now. Why? Because in Washington, it's still 3 o'clock or whatever it is there, 3 hours difference. He will have 100 decompression cases this week. That's 20 more than his record. Now, when you think about this, here's what I'm telling you. The world as you know it will never be the same. But that's okay, because guess what? You will never be the same. The person you are today is not the person that you will be tomorrow. B.J. Palmer said, everything that you think, say, or do will affect the lives of millions of people tomorrow. So here's what I'm asking you tonight. What are you thinking? What are you saying? And what are you doing? Listen, the fear will not go away. The fear will not go away. However, what people like Michael Smith has done, that Troy, God bless you, Michael, people that Troy Drayling have done, okay, is they've taken a proactive stance. Michael has gone out to the first responders. So tonight, one of the gifts we're going to have is a letter that you can give to first responders. And Frank, if I think I'm right, you're the one who wrote the letter, and I just made it prettier. Because Frank is also in Stuart, Florida, going to the first responders. Listen, give them a letter. Give them some love. You know, what was chiropractic built upon? Heck, if you think about it, we were built upon a profession of love. I talked last night, if I learned anything from Sid Williams, and I learned from everybody, is he said you have two hands. You have your service hands, and you have your business hand, and you have to learn how your hands can work together. And that's the beautiful thing. We're here to give service. There's never been a better time for chiropractic. You know, I'm reading a book today, and the name of the book is called Outwitting the Back Pain Industry by Catherine Jacobson Robin. And they did a survey at, what's this, at the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons Conference in 2010. They asked 100 surgeons would they personally have lumbar spinal surgery. Okay, the answer from all but one, 99% said, no, I'm not having surgery. So if the surgeons are not going to have surgery, and if you don't think, because let me tell you something, People are home, they're sitting down. So watch this. They're one of two things. A lot of them are unemployed, they're collecting unemployment. Guess what? They're looking at your Facebook, hi Kara. They're looking at your television, they're looking at your websites, and they have this problems. How do I know that? Frank Giampietro is close crazes. How do I know that? Michael Smith. Michael, you just shake your head, Michael. Aren't you setting records down there in the West? We'll get you on later. Shake your head. He's setting records over there. He's doing unbelievable because Michael is a guy who thinks outside the box. He's giving, he's loving, and serving. So what I'm saying is you can be whole, or I'm going to tell you, this is your future. Let me tell you, this is where you're going to be. Not me. Right, Carrie? Look at Carrie smile. I love when Carrie, I do stuff like this just for you. Say hello to Carrie. See, it's amazing what we can do here tonight with little things because the bottom line is your compensation, doctors, is determined by the value you bring to the marketplace, by the value you bring to your practice, okay? People will not build your practice. You have to do it. This is the time that, listen, this is the time, maybe you can't do screenings, but can you go out to your first responders and give them letters? Yes. Can you go to the fire department and introduce yourself? Yes. Can you go to the police department and introduce yourself? Yes. Michael Smith, I mean, you bought lunch for like 100 people. He brought, I think it was Chick-fil-A, right? And he brought lunch for all these people. He said, you know what? We appreciate what you do. I'm bringing you lunch. We're going to provide you service. It's an unbelievable thing what you can do when you think outside of the box. Right, Buzz? Buzz, I see that you're out there. Okay, I know what's going on, you know, and a lot of people all the time, you know, I want to introduce the Miss Beautiful Bridget Rosenberg, who actually did her hair for tonight, and she's going to talk later. And people say, well, what do I do for the pain pack? Well, let me tell you something. Here's a woman who developed, besides her 2 practices in California, she developed a product called Mineralgia. Your pain pack can be as simple as sending some Mineralgia. Your pain pack can be as simple as, did you get the Mineralgia? Did you try it? Did it remove your pain? When you realize that they did a survey, and she talks about it, Catherine Rubin, in the book, that 40% of all the back surgeries, okay, less than 40% are successful. That means 60+% of the surgeries are not successful, and that most of them have to have a second procedure because of the scar tissue for the first procedure, and then the chance of that being successful are only 30%. Now watch this. If they have a third procedure, the odds of that being successful are only 15%. So that's why Tiger Woods, after 3 surgeries, was frustrated. Now they put in metal, and this is it. So you're sitting out there. Last week we talked about neuropathy. Wow, you can get the boot. If you missed last week's program, I'm sure if you beg Perry, beg him, because he can be begged to, and you say, could you send me the thing? I need to get these boots. I mean, I'm going to ask you guys that have been here last week. Scott, Jason, look at Ziliax on Niagara Falls. God, he could be going down and he could go, listen, he's not going down in a barrel right now. You would think that John Ziliax with the coronavirus in New York would be going down Niagara Falls in a barrel, but not John Ziliax. He's being proactive. Neuropathy, you can give them treatment. They can come in the office once a week. You can do telemedicine, and they can do a lot of this at home. So here's what I'm saying to you, my doctors, to my clients. If you haven't had Kara do a neuropathy thing, spend a couple of $100 and say, Kara, let's do a neuropathy and let's see if it works. What I'm telling you is now is not the time to be defensive. Like Michael Smith has taught us, now is the time to be offensive. Like Frank Giampietro taught us. Now, and Frank's not young. I mean, him and Mike, he's not young guys. I think Mike's going to be like 84. I think Frank's going to be 79. I mean, he's not young. I'm the kid of this group. Only kidding. They're both younger than I am. But the point that I'm saying is he's a guy that has been around the block. Frank Giampietro, when he started, he was a straight chiropractor. He now has multiple decompression tables. I mean, I look at a guy like Scott Banks, who wrote a book on functional medicine. I think it's Functional Medicine for Dummies or whatever it is, the dummies book. And the son of a bitch is not a dummy. And we went to the same university. And then you got Buzz, who I've been trying to get part of the family. But you know what, Buzz? When you want to make money, call Bridget up, call Frank up, call Carrie up, call Ziliax up, call Mike Smith up. And Rich, look at Rich Mugavaro. Rich, raise your, how many cases did he close this week? He closed 4 cases this week. This son of a bitch doesn't even know what he's doing yet. And he closed 4 cases. choices. So don't sit back there and say, oh, you know, I should have done this, I should have done that. What? Listen, 4K, keep going, baby. I'm digging you. And listen, he doesn't even know what the hell he's doing. 4 cases for the people that say, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done this, I should have done that. And I tell them all the time, stop shooting all over yourself. It's time to get in the game. If you're not marketing, I would be on Facebook, I'd be on television, I'd be out to the first responders, I'd be out there, because I'm going to tell you something. The coronavirus will go away. I mean, the president of the United States, like him or not political, but they're talking about how he is killing the coronavirus. They were actually talking about infrared lights. Well, that's what we talked about with neuropathy, how LED lights help. I mean, we have so many things that we can do. This is a great time for chiropractic, and I will tell you why. Because people, they're not getting well with drugs and surgery. There's not a cure. And the Perot study clearly shows how to increase the immunity. Life University now is even sending out things on how you can get all the research on immunity. Just go to lifeuniversity.com and ask for immunity. So these are great times. And, you know, Perry and I, we work on this every day. We work on what are we going to give them? How are we going to motivate them? How are we going to inspire them? And nobody is more dedicated than Perry Bond. We do this every week. We do not get paid for it. I'm going to tell you something. Do not think it's an hour and a half of our time. Perry Bard probably spends 40 hours preparing for this. And then after this, he sends it out for the people that missed it tonight. This is a selfless human being who's out there servicing the people to make the profession better. We don't charge anything for tonight. Listen, I could be watching the NFL draft. I had to tape it. You know, Frank, I got the number 4 pick in the draft tonight.
Oh, you're a giant.
Number 4. Are we going offensive line? Are we going defensive? I don't know, but yet I'd rather watch Bridget Rosenberg and talk about Mineralgia, which is changing the way people are doing home health care. I'd rather look at Carrie Gurgis smile and Scott Banks shake. Look at Perry. You notice how Lisa Richter went? She did her hair. Her hair did not look this good in the beginning of the show. That's what being on camera, Lisa, does to you. Here she is in Georgia. And let me tell you, in Georgia, your governor just opened up the state. How great is that for you? And as the heat comes, are you kidding me, Lisa? These are great times, doctors. So, Buzz, you need to get your ass in gear. Perry, love being here. Nobody is more selfless than you. So tonight, Perry, personally me, I honor you for putting this thing together and being so dedicated to this profession that he even got Sonny Gattro, Sonny from North Carolina, who came out, listen, he came out of the back room to be on this.
So way too kind, number one. Number two, no question, labor of love for all of us, because yes, there's a lot of doctors here at Thursday Night Live that you know that could be watching the draft and could be doing a lot of things, but you gave up your time. And the reason you gave up your time is because what do you want? You want one thing. You want to walk away tonight with one thing that you could change, you can enhance, you can modify if you choose to, or you could use it as is to be able to plug and play something that will make the quality of your practice radically better. So what I want to do here right now is I want to show you some stuff. All right. So before we do that, let me see if this will work, because remember last time we had a little hiccup, but let's see if you see it. You do. All right. How cool is that? All right. So guess what? It's party time. And because it's party time, guess what? Well, what we're going to do here is this. What I want to do here is I want to, number one, what I want to do is, let's see if that works. Oh, there it goes. All right, beautiful. That's even better. This is what I want to do. First and foremost, everybody here tonight, take a pen out and write this email down. And the reason that you're going to write this email down is because you may have a question or two after today or after tonight, and we will help you and we will guide you, and we will also send you some stuff too here tonight. But you got to reach out. So if you don't reach out, we can't send you anything. So you got to reach out to newpatientnow@AOL.com. And then what I want to do here really is this. What I want to do is I want to talk about some of the free gifts here. Actually, we're just diving right into the deep end of the pool here, and we're going to get right into it actually here. So Here's a little backstory, all right, that will set the table accordingly for you, doctors, to hopefully help you understand what the merit of tonight is and how you can take the ball, much like a running back that gets drafted in the first round, hopefully up near the top, and runs like hell. Because if you've got the right ammunition, which is what we're going to give you here tonight, you've got the opportunity to do something incredible. So what happened was, years ago, we actually created one of the most successful lead generation campaigns that was centered around the prevailing system that was created primarily by the pharmaceutical industry. Now, what I mean by that is this. As you know, the difference between going to a medical doctor and going to a chiropractor often is ended in a very different manner. And the way it's handled differently is because the majority of patients that see their medical doctor will walk out of the office with something in their hand. What they're going to walk out of the office with is either a prescription or a sample. Now, we know where the samples come from. The samples are generated by the pharmaceutical industry. So in other words, what the pharmaceutical industry did in their genius, is they gave medical doctors, if you will, free gifts. And the medical doctors then took those free gifts to build the practice. Now, the reality was people love things for free, number one, but especially something that's going to help them that's specific and topical, pun intended, topical to their condition, topical to its usage. So the magic of that is the simple fact that in chiropractic, unfortunately, we never really had anything like that. Now, if you put 100 patients in a room that are medically, I would say, of a medical mindset, what they're always looking for is something known, as you know, is what we call the magic pill. So basically what happened was, so years ago, basically what we wanted to do as chiropractors, and this program, to prove its validity, was created years ago to show, in essence, that the playing field is humongous for you, for people that are looking for the next magic pill. They don't care where it comes from, but they're looking for the next magic pill, be it for back pain, leg pain, neck pain, numbness, tingling, pins and needles. And then, yes, in their mind, organic issues. How about allergies? How about headaches? How about digestive problems? More and more, right? Obviously, because they're always looking for the next magic pill. So what we did was this. We created a program years ago called the Free Trial Pack Program. And in the Free Trial Pack Program, basically what it included was 4 things. Number one, we gave away free topical analgesics. Number 2, we gave an instruction packet as to how exactly they need to use it. Number 3, we gave them a health pass. And number 4, we gave them a magazette, which actually replaced the practice brochure. So it was, this program back in the day, when we first started it, was promoted exclusively in little classified ads, believe it or not, in newspapers everywhere. And it worked so well, what we did was we ended up taking an 800 number and then recording a basically ironclad message that would prod the patient to do basically 3 things. Number 1, give their name. Number 2, give their address. And number 3, give the reason that they're asking for this magic pill per se. Meaning area of concern. Was it back pain? Was it neck pain? Was it leg pain? Was it shoulder pain? Was it knee pain? What was it? So it worked so incredibly well, it eventually morphed into something much bigger, and it morphed into basically a kit that we share with our Disc Centers of America doctors. We share it exclusively with our concierge coaches doctors that are, obviously, if you scroll around, that are on this teleconference for a reason. And in the packet, they get the following. They get a picture of what the kit actually entails. They get the exact script to use. They get examples of different topical analgesics. They get the exact letter that they have to put in the pain kit. They get the exact classified ads, which now go online. These are little Facebook ads that we put out there. They get the recorded message when they call the 800 number and a simple implementation list. Now, the one difference on this list is what we're going to talk about here tonight. And the one difference on this list is exactly what you're sending them. So basically, if you look at a lot of our doctors, we actually have this on their websites to if you're not using this on your websites, doctor, you absolutely want to promote this 100%. And this is actually what it looks like to basically motivate the patient to say, hey, listen, wait a minute. I just put in my name, my address. I don't even have to put in credit card. They're going to mail it to me for free. I'll take it. I want it. I need it. I'm excited to get it. And this is actually the intake form that we actually use to capture the leads on our websites. One of the magical things that happened in this process was we met an amazing doctor. This doctor actually became part of our family of doctors. Her name is Dr. Brigitte Rosenberg. She's the director of Disc Centers of America, Los Angeles. She's also the director of NeuroDoc, Neuropathy Treatment Centers in Los Angeles. And what she did is she created the single greatest topical analgesic on the planet. And it would be our honor here tonight, Dr. Rosenberg, if you could share with our Thursday Night Live audience here tonight, in essence, what exactly is Mineralgia and how do you use it in the best possible manner?
Wow. Thank you so much for introducing me like that. That makes me feel very special. Thank you. Thank you and welcome everybody. And where's Dr. Kaplan? Is he there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. So first of all, it's an honor to be part of your network. It's an honor to be part of this amazing family of DCOAs. You guys always, always, always over-deliver. And the material and the product that you guys provide is just amazing. So Mineralgia is my little baby that I created many years ago, 10 years ago. It was made in Israel originally because it has minerals from the Dead Sea, which, as you all know, the Dead Sea is the lowest point on earth, and it's extremely rich in many minerals. And it's very, very therapeutic. It attracts people from all over the world that go and spend weeks and weeks to just take care of their aches and pains, specifically a skin condition and many, many arthritic condition. And so 2-3 years ago, I redeveloped it and I made it made in the USA with local products and took away some of the parabens and things that were in the product that nobody likes anymore. And today it's a very clean, vegan, gluten-free. It's the cleanest product in the market for pain relief. It has no additives, no salicylates, nothing medicinal. It's very safe. We made it in an FDA-approved facility, so technically it's considered FDA approved, but FDA doesn't approve anything like that. FDA is basically, we have to follow their guidelines in order to, make the claims that it is for pain. We do all the stability testing to make sure that it's safe, that it has a shelf life, that it has no bacteria in it. So we follow all the guidelines. And a lot of you have seen it. I think most of you have received it because I've mailed it to the whole list of DCOA. And if you have not received it, I'll be happy to send you a free sample so you can try it. So Mineralgia, because it is so safe and effective, you can use it as 5 to 6 times a day. And, we all use some kind of topical in our offices. There's many different kinds out there with CBD, without. We are the non-CBD alternative. It's very rich, like I said, in Dead Sea salts. It has magnesium, arnica, camphor, and menthol, and it has a plethora of essential oils that I put together, which each one of them has an efficacy for pain and inflammation. So, for example, it has mandarin oil, and mandarin oil has studies to show that is a natural analgesic. So when you put the mandarin and you put the eucalyptus and you put the lemongrass, which is for muscle spasm, and you put all the others, aloe vera, all of it together, really creates an amazing effect, and people like it. So we try to make it smell as best as we can, comparing to all the stuff out there that normally kind of smells very medicinal. It is very rich, so the actual integrity of the product, the raw material are very high quality, so it's a premium product. It doesn't stick, it doesn't have a jello residue, so it's very hydrating to the skin, and it's very soothing and it's pleasant. So you can, you know, those of you that had the chance to try it, I'm sure you, I mean, you know, I hope you enjoy it and like it and your patients like it. And those of you that didn't, like I said, I'll be happy to send you a full tube so you can try it. But what we do for the pain kit, we give them a sample, and I'll be happy to send you, and I'll give you what I'm going to do a little gift at the end of this webinar, Dr. Bard. But we give our patients this little bag, and it has 5 to 7 samples, and there's enough product in each bag, in each little baggie, to be used several times, and that's like a week's supply. So, you know, now in lieu of COVID-19, they were talking, the talks were that you can't use Motrin or Advil, and that the non-steroidals that people take for pain are not allowed to be used now, or they're not recommended. So there's really not that many options for people that have pain, and then nobody really wants to take any drugs now, and the only thing that you can take is Tylenol, and it's not very effective always for pain. So the topical that we always, you know, obviously in our office, but we always recommend to use is Mineralgia. It's very safe. You can rub it on 5, 6, 7 times a day. It doesn't smell bad. And we'll give them as many samples as they want when they come to us, and they get the decompression package. And that's pretty much my few moments of fame. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to send you, like I said, a tube, I will be happy to do so. But at the end of this, I'll be happy to send you a free 30 sample bags that you can give to your patients and see if they like it and what they think about that.
We want more of you, number one. Number two, would you give out your contact information right now?
Yes.
So for the doctors that are joining us here live here tonight, if you want to get your hands on, and then I'm going to talk about how we market this. Okay. So basically we're going to take it to another level here tonight, but could you share that, Dr. Rosenberg?
Sure. So my email address is Dr. B. Rosenberg, which is spelled ROZENBERG @gmail.com. And if you put in the subject matter DCOA or Mineralgia or pain cream or pain kit, whatever, I'll be happy to mail you samples. Some of you have ordered some samples from me, but since I'm on this call tonight, even if you did order, I'll send you another bag. So you can give it to your patients, and they're gonna really like it. I mean, I have some patients that come and tell me that I put a sticker on those little adhesives that they buy in the market, but they can only use one every 24 hours. They can't use too much of it. This is such a clean product that you can use and use many times a day as you want, and it gives you a really great relief. So it's part of our protocol. Everybody that comes here and gets decompression, and we see a lot of injured patients here. We obviously put them on the table, then we do the laser, we put the Mineralgia on them, we put the matrix on top of the Mineralgia, which is another way of doing the treatment. It's just a little add-on. The more add-ons you give to the patient, obviously, the more they like it, and it just makes them feel amazing. So it's just, we have great benefits.
One of the things that we fell in love with is, and where do I begin? Number one, I use this product exclusively because my wife fell in love with this product. But one of the reasons that we felt that this was so incredible, let me see if I can share this with you here, and is something that I'd love for you to see, and that is this. Can you see it? All right, beautiful, perfect. So here's the big idea. All right, if you want to see the big idea, here's the big idea. All right. The big idea is basically this. If you are paying attention tonight, you'll notice that to us, this was one of the greatest single opportunities to be able to throw the widest net that you possibly can in your demographic in terms of getting leads. In other words, getting traffic, getting people, getting bodies, and then eventually getting patients. And the way you do that is you make it user-friendly for the patient by shipping them something where all they have to do is simply give you their name and their address. That's it. They don't have to do anything else. That's basically it. The thing that I fell in love with was the packaging of this, because you know, the sizzle is really just as important as the steak. And there's an old saying that we eat with our eyes first. So what I mean by that is very simple, that if the packaging is put together, and no disrespect against BioFreeze, and no disrespect against any of the other conventional topicals out there, but at the end of the day, these are exactly what I just said. They're conventional. This is specific. This is unique. This is different. And one of the things, Dr. Rosenberg, if you could just touch on tonight also too, is the simple fact that because of the science of this, and this is one of the things we fell in love with, was when you think about the Dead Sea, you think about a very high level of salinity or salt. Now, obviously, one of the things that you know, doctors, is that what does salt do? Well, salt actually draws. And if you have swelling, edema, inflammation, and a pooling of fluids, secondary often to trauma, consistent often with a herniated disc, consistent with meniscus damage, consistent with bursa damage, consistent with a strain, a sprain, and more, what you want to do is you want to use those salts. One of the things she didn't share with you is the fact that her husband, who's incredible, is a dentist. And if you ask any dentist in the world, what do you tell your patients after a dental procedure if their gums are a little swollen? What do you have them do? You have them gargle with salt water. So Dr. Rosenberg, can you share a little bit about the merits of the science of mineralgia, and then we're going to take it back to Dr. Kaplan.
So mineralgia has the highest concentration of salts in a cream, in a pain relieving cream. The salts that are in this product were imported from Israel. They're made here, obviously, but the salts were imported from Israel as a raw material. And having salts in the product makes the inflammation. It basically reduces the inflammation. So you can actually feel and see when you put it on a bruised ankle or a swollen neck or any muscle spasm, it reduces the pain faster than just because of the menthol and the camphor that's there as well, because the salt dehydrates and sucks out all the inflammation and brings it, you know, it makes the inflammation kind of go to the surface. So in essence, it and you can feel it when you actually put it on, that it allows the blood to circulate, and you actually feel the warmth, and then you feel the cool, and then you feel that the swelling is reduced, and that's due to the salts that's there. It's very rich in magnesium. Magnesium is extremely helpful, as you all know, for muscle spasm and any kind of inflammation. And that's basically the biggest difference between this particular product and anything else, because I mean, a lot of the ingredients are very similar, but the salt that makes that is part of this formula makes it very, very unique and very different.
It's beautiful. Dr. K?
Well, hopefully you can hear me better now. I switched computers, I switched rooms, so just shake your head if this is working a little better. Thank God. Well, Brigitte, you know how I feel about you, even though I say your name, Brigitte. You are such an amazing woman.
Thank you.
You know, and it's so exciting. You know, and what I love, doctors, about this is here is a product that was developed by a chiropractor for the general public. And here is something, again, you can go to your fire rescues, you can go to your police department. She's willing to give you this mineralgia. And remember what we're doing tonight, what Perry and I are doing is not just for our clients. We're doing this for the profession. We're doing this for a profession that's been under attack probably since 1895. I mean, and what we have the ability to do is to be recognized as a primary care health provider in the world today, in a world that's looking for change, in a world that realizes, you know what? Everything that we learned up until this time has not worked. And people looking for change.
Condition is, I hope it's tonight, but you'll know the math on how to approach this. Okay, it's when you don't have good marketing knowledge, don't have any idea what's going on within practice.
I'm getting another voice there, Perry. Is that you too?
You're back on.
Back on.
So what we are trying to do is to empower the chiropractors. That is the purpose of our meetings tonight. That is the purpose of Thursday Night Live, to help you help yourselves. What we want for the future of chiropractic is for you doctors to control your destiny. You know, I used to always say to my children, they know this, are you a thermostat or are you a thermometer? And you need to know the difference. A thermostat, doctors, controls the temperature. A thermometer just tells you what the temperature is. So my goal to you, doctors, my thought for you is, in practice, are you a thermostat or a thermometer? If you're going to let the media, if you're going to let the Times dictate who you are, what you do, how you do it, you will not succeed. This is your time to be a thermostat, to set the standard. No one has done it better than Michael Smith. And then when I see, you know, Hugh Burgett, who's developed this wonderful product, whose husband is a dentist, who's out there dealing with it and willing to give it to all of you people at no charge, that's what we do. Winston Churchill said, you make a living by what you get, you make a life by what you give. And that's why I have such admiration for Perry Bard. He's out there giving to you 24/7, acknowledging this program. Hi, Mrs. Mugavaro. You look very nice tonight, by the way. It's glad that you came into the camera. We love seeing you. Good thing you didn't come in your lingerie, because your husband's looking in the mood tonight. I know, he's a handsome guy. He's a handsome guy. I don't blame you. And he closed the play. Show him again. How many cases did he close this week? 4 cases. Right? Are you proud of your man? Shake your head. You betcha. Come back in your lingerie. We'll bring you back on. So anyway, Lisa, you could be next, Lisa. Don't worry. You know, listen, the bottom line is, being in practice should be fun. Life should be fun. We should not live in fear. Fear is breaking down as an acronym: false evidence appearing real. And I'm not saying that the coronavirus is a false thing. It's very serious. But you know what? It's going to make the world think more about natural health care. It's going to make them think about vitamins. Scott, it's going to think about what you do. Buzz, it's going to make them think about, Buzz, you're in New York. This is the best time, Buzz, for you to be part of our family. Listen, I promote the Chiro event. Buzz, you've been to it. Anyone that's been to the Chiro event, it's a life-changing day. What I call it is a one-day MBA. You have your DC degree. It's time for you to get your MBA. It's time for you to understand how to do business. When I take somebody and I look at a guy like Frank Giampietro from Stuart, Florida, who only did basic chiropractic, and now he has 2 decompression tables. He's dealing with the first responders. We'll have letters for everybody that they can give out. So this is a good thing. Jason wants me to turn my iPad sideways. So I hope, there you go. Jason, if that's better, send me a text. So the point is, listen, I will tell you, I am great only because of 2 great things. Perry Bard and my son and daughter, Jason and Stephanie, that keep me on my toes. You know, Richard Branson said there are 3 types of people. There are the initiators, there are the imitators, and then there are the imposters. Perry and I have been the initiators, the innovators. That's what we do. There are so many imposters there and so many coaches that teach the same thing, the same way, the same old time. You know, if you do the same thing the same way, you get the same results. There has never been a better time for chiropractic than there is now. But you have to accept that fact. You have to realize that fact. You have to implement that fact. Like I said earlier, I know I came in, I came out. You know, Michael Smith was out there getting lunches, bringing lunches to the first responders, bringing lunches to the fire department. And we have a letter that was written by Frank, okay, that we're going to provide tonight. There are so many gifts that, Perry is so generous. If I tell you, if Santa Claus had a middle name, it would be Bard. It's probably Santa Bard Claus. I want to go to the North Pole. If I knew how to get there, I'm not taking a cruise ship. I'll tell you that right now. But if I wanted to go to the North Pole, because all Perry thinks about is what gifts are we giving away? And listen, I'm half Jewish, half Italian. Frank, you know that. If you can't steal, you got to get a good buy in it. And he keeps wanting to give away, Brigitte. I said, stop giving away so much. And then you come on, Brigitte, as beautiful as you are, and you're giving away mineralgia, you're giving away samples. I'm going to tell you, and I'll tell you what, it works. Scott, eventually you're going to have to give away some books to these people. Guess what? Talk to your publisher. You wrote Functional Medicine or Get Well for Dummies or some kind of dummies book. I want you, Scott, for next week, Thursday Night Live. I'll tell you what, Scott, I'll bring you on. We can talk about functional medicine. I want you to give out a book for every person that will email you for the book. So shake your head if you're into that. All right, so now we got books. He wrote Functional Medicine or something like that for dummies. The only one who can't get one is Buzz. Buzz has to pay for it because he's such a cheap son of a bitch. But the point is, listen, Lisa, if you're not part of the family, you're not part of the family. I've been trying to get Buzz forever. I went to college with these guys. I was his resident advisor, for God's sake. This is a great time for you guys. This is a great time for chiropractic. Perry has so much more in store, so many exciting things. Perry, take it over.
So let's share a little bit here and see if we can do this here. And yay, there we go. Perfect. All right. So I want to recap something here. Let's see. All right. Perfect. All right. So I want you to understand that the topical that you use is vital. If you're going to give a gift to a patient, this is the single greatest opportunity to give them something special that speaks to their needs, especially if they may be homebound. Last week, we did a training, as you know, last week on neuropathy. With regards to neuropathy, this is one of the single greatest products that you can use for neuropathy. So obviously we have so many family members here with us, so we wanted to use this opportunity as a gentle reminder that if you email us tomorrow, what we'll do is newpatientnow@aol.com will send you everything that you're looking at. We're going to send you the pain relief lead generator form. We're going to send you the script. We're going to send you, obviously you already have Dr. Rosenberg's contact information. We're going to send you the letter. We're going to send you the recorded message that you can use and more. So one of the things that Dr. Kaplan spoke about was this. What he spoke about was the first responder letter. And we put together a special letter for you. And this was really, we want to thank Dr. Frank Giampietro in his real, talk about his generosity here. But this is something that if you watched a video 2 weeks ago, we talked about getting the home address of the first responders and how to get the home address of the first responders, the paramedics, the doctors, the nurses, the ancillary staff, the support staff, and more, to be able to put the right content in their hands. So obviously you're not just sending them a letter, you're sending them some other great stuff as well. And Dr. K, would you talk a little bit about the first responder letter as everybody's taking a look at it right now?
You know, we did a couple of letters, Perry. Actually, you know, the first letter we did is a letter that we will provide to them, which talks about chiropractic and the immuno benefits of chiropractic. The one who went to town with that was Michael Smith. Michael Smith is one of the great innovators, and he went to town with it. And Michael Smith spoke, you know, at one of the prior meetings, and he'll speak again. Then, you know, somebody went together and put together a very quick, very cute letter was Frank. And, you know, I have so much admiration for the people that are here because, you know, let me explain something, doctors. It's Thursday night, okay? And we're giving away. We're not charging for anything. We're not doing anything, but we're giving away. Why? Because I'm going to tell you something. If the world is under attack, let me explain to you something that you might not realize. Chiropractic's been under attack from the time that you went into it. Chiropractic has been under attack from the day that you went to this business. I look at you, Carrie, who I admire as a hero amongst men. You know, Carrie was driving an ambulance. Carrie thought about, before he joined This Sense America, Carrie was even thinking about giving up practice. Now he has 9 decompression tables, 9. And orthopedists contact him. You know, I sent the thing to you, Perry, today. I don't even get to see it yet because you've been so busy doing this. And again, I cannot thank Perry Bart enough for putting this together and the hours he spends every week to put this together for people, for the profession. This is not just for This Centers of America. You notice we have people like Buzz Fabricant on this thing. Buzz will never spend a dime with us, but we love you, Buzz, anyway. Scott, shake your head, you know I'm telling the truth. But we love Buzz because he's Buzz. The point is, Perry spent so much time in doing this, and then we talk about the giveaways, and then you have Brigitte, you know, who comes on and developed this wonderful product, because so many people send me texts every week. What's the pain kit that we use on the website? Hey, Brigitte just gave you the pain kit. So let me tell you how you do the pain kit. You send it to them with a brochure. We have better brochures than the average people, but that's what Perry and I do. Then you call them up. Did you try the Mineralgia? Did it work? You get 1 or 2 answers, yes or no. If yes, how much of your pain did it remove? You're never going to get 100% because people in pain, they're not going to get 100%. They'll say 50% good. My answer would be, how would you like to get the other 50%? What I'll do is, why don't you come in? Let us evaluate you. We'll do an evaluation, examination at no charge. Let's see if we can get you that other 50%. That's the business that we're in. Let me explain to you something. We're in the pain business. I said yesterday in another interview that Perry did, chiropractic is not a philosophy, an art, and a science. Chiropractic is a science that has an art that embraces, no more than embrace a philosophy, because philosophy is subjective and science is objective. And this is a time to be objective. So in the first letter we sent out was the Perot study. The second letter is this first responders letter. These are things that you can put on your website. These are things that Ramon, whoever uses Ramon, will put to you. I mean, you know, there are so many things that people don't know. As I said, I read earlier, the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, out of 100 people, they said, would you have back surgery? 99 orthopedic surgeons said no. 99 out of 100. So you know what? Failed back surgery, if it happens in your area, you failed to educate them. You failed to embrace it. So we have this gift for the first responders that Frank helped write. And Frank, raise your fingers. How many new patients did you get from it? 10. Listen, what would you pay for 10 new patients? Right? I'm hoping to get a bottle of wine from the son of a gun. Frank, all I want is a bottle of wine for the, you know, I'll send you a bottle for the letter. Nobody's better. I see Scott Banks is drinking wine again tonight. I saw that, Scott. Nothing gets past me. I'm looking at the color, Scott. No. The point is, this is a great time, doctors, to be proactive, not reactive. Don't be a whiner, be a winner. Don't be a zero, be a hero. Listen, if Columbus was scared of sailing, he would not have made the discovery. What if Alexander didn't hear the bell? What if Galileo was scared of the dark? I mean, this is the time for you to embrace who you are. This is your time to get this letter. And what Perry told you is point blank. He'll show you how you can get the addresses of all these people. Go ahead, Perry, take it over.
You bet. There was, I'm getting, you know, it's very funny. If you notice, I'm looking down at my phone, I'm getting emails, I'm getting text. And I do have other people who are watching our emails tonight. And I learned that from last week, because I can only multitask so much. And as we speak, there are doctors that are actually grabbing seats at the Chiro event. This past, if you have the American Chiropractor, there was an interview that just came out. It's a 6-page interview in front cover story of the American Chiropractor. Grab it. It is fantastic. And it tells an amazing story about the evolution of really the disc specialist. And if you know anything about us, we're in the business of creating specialists. We're in the business, actually, as you know, of empowering doctors to the point where you become the go-to specialist with regards to patients that were looking at going to a orthopedic surgeon, a neurosurgeon, a neurologist, a pain management specialist, a physiatrist. And if you want to learn how to do this the right way, you want to grab a seat at the Chiro event, which is coming up on May 30th. There's actually the front cover, and just rave reviews, you know, and anyone who doesn't have it, if you email us, we'll send you a PDF download on it as well. Very few seats remain. It is www.thechiroevent.com. And this is a game changer. And you got doctors flying in from all over the country, some of the most entrepreneurial doctors that you've ever met that want to learn one simple thing. Now, obviously, I think if you speak to anybody who's ever attended the Chiro event, they're going to tell you that they walked away with literally a grab bag of materials and tools and stuff, and they loved it. It's a 5-star location. They get to enjoy the most delicious gourmet lunch you've ever had, and I implore you to go to the website www.thechiroevent.com and do whatever you can to grab a seat, because you know, obviously, the one that's coming up is the one that we're going to laser focus on what we call the new normal. In other words, we're going to dial in with ammunition, with communication tools, with content, with example after example after example of what you could be doing, should be doing, hopefully want to be doing to come out of the gate bigger, better, and more than you ever have before. In other words, to literally slingshot your practice into the best half of the year. And that's what we're positioning for. We're positioning ourselves for the best 2020 in the history of chiropractic. You can go to the website, you can fill out the form, you can grab a seat there. And one of the special gifts, and we're going to get a chance, hopefully for the first time ever, and this is a gift here tonight, to speak about it here, is there was something this week that actually just came out. Actually, the information just came out. Dr. K, are you still with me?
I'm with you, baby.
All right. So you lost your screen here, but it's okay. I want to bring you back on because, let's see. There you are. Perfect. You're back on. Would you be so kind as to talk about, for the first time ever, as we get to share it with, you know, this is the magic of coming to Thursday Night Live. People want, and by the way, if you guys want to do something great, what I would suggest is subscribe to the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, because there you're going to get first access to things. Now, obviously, you figure out we don't post all the videos. That's one of the cool things about coming to Thursday Night Live is many of you are the only ones who ever see this information. There is a percentage of them that we post on our YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and if you do become a subscriber, you'll get first access to any releases we do in the future. But I'm so excited right now, I got to tell you, because of the simple fact that for the first time, actually, for the first time in a long, long time, for the first time, we get an opportunity to share here tonight something that was in the pipeline for years, literally years. And it was really the encore performance to my favorite book. Now, what I mean by that is for doctors that happen to attend the chiroevent.com, one of the gifts that we give away, I'm so bad at like holding secrets, you know what I mean? And because I got so many other secrets that I want to share with you, but I have to share with you this simple fact, and you know what I'm talking about, for doctors that have attended the Chiro event, that one of the things we give away is we give a whole package of CDs that is my favorite book that Dr. Kaplan has written, which is called The 5-Minute Motivator. And it is really, really my favorite book for the same reason that it's a lot of doctors' favorite books, because in 5 minutes, you can come away completely empowered. And there was such rave reviews. I think it's his most decorated book. I think it was at the #1 spot for the longest time, even though the other books have been amazing and we're up at #1 for an extended period of time. But I think the 5-Minute Motivator actually has the record. So what happened was this, and that's why I'm really so juiced and pumped. I'm excited here tonight that for doctors that are fortunate enough to grab a seat at the next Chiro event, they're going to walk away with something that tonight, for the first time, you're going to get a chance to learn about. And let's see, here it is. Can you see it? Perfect. Dr. K? Are you there?
I'm here, baby.
Beautiful. It is called the 1-Minute Motivator, and it is the I would say the encore performance, the really the crown jewel here when you talk about this incredible book that you've written.
Well, Perry, you know the way life is. I always say, everyone has been to my things. Carrie, you know this. The road to success is always under construction. And I can't tell you how many times I was on the golf course, even with the president of the United States, and someone would say, hey, you know what? I'm writing a book called The 4-Minute Motivator. And someone said, hey, I'm going to write a book called The 3-Minute Motivator. So I figured I'd beat them all to the punch. My best friend just jumped into the room, and I wrote The 1-Minute Motivator. And I think the reason that I wrote this is because we have to understand that your mindset is as complicated as a patient's mindset. And everything we think, say, or do will affect the lives of people tomorrow. And if you can motivate them, I have in it 1-minute motivators, little things that you can do in 1 minute a day. They'll help you set goals, set affirmations, be more positive. That'll take your practice to the next level. Because you know what? How long, when you think about it, does an adjustment take? How long are you physically in there, in the room with the patient? I know with decompression, many people don't even put them on the table. Jason, you don't even put them on the table. But if you can get 1 minute to motivate them. So we have the new book. You know what? I think the next boot camp and the next event will be the best. Why? Because people are sitting at home and they want it. They're hungry. So, I mean, and we're going to do it, and we're going to accommodate it. And Michael Smith, I'm hoping you'll be there and to talk about everything that you've done with first responders. Frankie and Pietro, I'm hoping that you will be there. Brigitte, I'm hoping that you will be there with more samples than these people can ever carry home in their luggage. Carrie, I'm hoping you'll be there because nobody does more for the profession on a day-to-day basis to you. Buzz, you can even come back again. I won't even charge you. Buzz, call me up. I'll give you an offer you can't refuse. Scott Banks, I'm hoping that you will be there because next week you're going to be the star and you're going to give away your book. So yes, people that come to the event, we will give them this book. I can assure you, doctors, it will be. I've written 5 books. Every one has been a bestseller. 3 of them were #1 bestsellers. The 5-Minute Motivator was on the bestseller list, #1 for 6 weeks. That's the largest of them all. Lifestyle, the Fit and Famous, I have President Trump on the cover of my book. The 1-Minute Motivator will change people's lives 1 minute at a time. I know in business, I used to call people, and I never said, could I have a minute at a time? I used to always say, can I have 60 seconds? Can I have 300 seconds? I'm either going to 1 minute or 5 minutes. And you'd be amazed how people laugh when you say, I just need 300 seconds of his time. I need 60 seconds of his time. You'd be amazed what you can do in 1 minute. In 1 minute, you can set a goal. In 1 minute, you can do an affirmation. In 1 minute, I mean, imagine Frank got 10 new patients. I mean, imagine that we have people like Mike Smith and Carrie out there servicing the people. You know, what I'm telling you is, so you know what? I'm out there. Why am I still writing books? And I have more books in me. And you know what? We don't do this. Perry's book, top bestseller, Success Spotlight Radio. Now we're doing Success Spotlight Television. I mean, why? Because let me tell you something. Who are the leaders in the chiropractic profession today? What is their message? There's no message from the profession. The profession is in shock. The profession has paralysis through analysis. Nobody is dominating this profession, but you know what? Our clinics are. Why do we have clinics that with 30,000 square feet? Why do we have guys like Carrie Gurgis that have 9 tables? Why do we have a guy like Michael Smith that has 4 tables? Why do we have people that keep adding tables to their practice? Because I'm going to tell you, we can bring decompression, we can neuropathy. We are not insurance dependent. We teach our doctors to be independent. We teach our doctors to be better doctors, to be better people, to serve. You make a living by what you get, doctors. You make a life by what you give. And so, yes, people that come to the event, if you doctors have not been to the event, guess what? It's time to get off your butt and time to get there. And it's time to learn what the winners are doing. We spoke to a Dr. Hesser out of New Mexico, 30,000 square feet. We have doctors in New Jersey, 13,000 square feet. I mean, we have people in Decatur, Illinois, 12 decompression tables. No one person is dominating it, but I will tell you, chiropractors are making a bigger difference than the medical profession. So if you want, look for the full page in the American Chiropractor and Chiropractic Economics, then I'm a chiropractor. And you know what? I want to ask you a question. Here's my challenge. Next week, Scott Banks is going to talk. He's going to give away books. Call one of the chiropractor and invite them to come to Thursday Night Live. Invite them to come to see Dr. Perry Bond. Invite them to hear Scott Banks and maybe even Michael Smith, and maybe, to see what's going on in the profession. Let me tell you something. If we want to make the profession great again, it starts with us now. So here's my challenge to you, doctors. Perry's going to give you all these things tonight. What I'm asking you for is one thing in return. One thing. Perry loves that thing. One thing. I want you to invite another doctor and say, you have to attend. And Buzz, I know you're here because of Scott. Terry, I want you on the phone. Lisa, I want you on the phone. Bridget, I want you on the phone. Michael, I want you. Michael Smith has 4 clinics, and he's killing it over there in Panama City. And I'm going to tell you, it's impossible to fly to. Trust me, I tried. But I did it, and I came and I saw you. So what I'm telling you, doctors, is one thing. Invite someone to come to Thursday Night Live. Why? Because you know what? There'll be a lot of gifts next week. And I want to cost Scott Banks a lot of money by giving away a lot of books. Perry Bond.
All right, so we'll roll the tape back a little bit for anyone who came late to the party here tonight. Dr. Rosenberg, the creator, the brain trust, the genius, and I don't use that word lightly, of the greatest single topical analgesic on the planet based upon science, based upon packaging, based upon having the ability to bridge. When I say bridge, meaning overcome objections. You want to learn how to overcome objections? Well, you're in the right place, because if you'll notice, it is not coincidental that when Dr. Kaplan speaks and he starts talking about doctors like Dr. Frank Giampietro, Dr. Carrie Gurgis, Dr. Brigitte Rosenberg, and then you start to see other doctors on here like Dr. Carl Abramson and Dr. Joe Mascaro and Dr. Roy Ostenson and Dr. Tom Caputo and Dr. Tom Frigno. I'm just getting started here. All of those doctors are concierge coaches, family members. All of those doctors are here for one more thing, because they know with one thing you could change the world. Dr. Rosenberg, would you be so kind to give out your contact information? Because if you want the samples, you can't contact us. You got to contact Dr. Rosenberg. So Dr. Rosenberg, give out your contact information, and then I'm going to go over a few more things here tonight.
Sure. Thank you again. So it's Dr. B. Rosenberg @gmail.com. And Rosenberg is spelled with a Z. And I'll be more than happy to send you 30 samples for free.
Unbelievably.
I'm gonna even put it in individual packs, so you can actually hand it out to the patient already with a postcard, so that you can just give it to them. And there's gonna be 5 in each, which is a 7-day supply.
You are so generous.
The gift.
It's for the family of doctors.
We get, I always joke with Dr. K. I say, you know what? I said, I don't know where those other doctors are going, but for some reason, we seem to get like the best doctors in the country. And that's not a coincidence. I think you know why. The reason is simple. We teach the highest converting cash package close in the business. In other words, if you're in the business of non-surgical spinal decompression, if you're in the business of peripheral neuropathy, if you want to take care of knees and shoulders and joints, if you want to learn how to evaluate a patient much more thoroughly, if you want to learn how to communicate better, if you want to learn how to overcome objections, if you want to learn how to handle the financial, if you want to learn how to raise your star power, your celebrity, if you want to learn how to no longer be the best kept secret in your demographic, then what you want to do is simple. What you want to do is you want to do everything within your power, just like Dr. Korb did. I'm excited to see you, Dr. Korb. You told me an amazing story this week when I got a chance to speak to you. You were on last Thursday Night Live. We're excited to see you. A Jersey boy from Trenton, New Jersey, who's probably got more stories than Dr. Kaplan and myself put together. And then you look at our family, you look at Dr. Mike Smith, and you see Dr. Brandon Manson, and then you start to see all these, like Greg Salem, incredible, in California. Can't wait to see you in August, Dr. Salem, at the in-office non-surgical spinal decompression in-office masterclass training, which is a training that we do in an office that has, ready for this, 12, count it, 12 spinal decompression tables. And they're all busy. And it is an invitation-only event for if you're part of the family. See, there's so many gifts that you get if you're part of the family. And if you want to just hang out on the sidelines, well, guess what? That's cool. I don't even know Buzz. I do know Buzz. I remember seeing you at the National Spinal Decompression Certification. And I know you want to hang out on the sidelines. Hang out all you want. You've known Dr. K forever. But I'm going to tell you something. Life favors people that take one step forward. Life favors the doctors that see this for what it is. They see that chiropractic is without question the greatest science, the greatest art, and yes, the greatest philosophy on the planet, but without the business, which is the fourth leg on the chair, without the business acumen to be able to capture more than your 8%, 10%, 12% of the market and do game over. In other words, to have a life and a lifestyle full of profit, freedom, and fun. You want to live in the big house, on the big street, in the big part of town? Well, come to the ChiroVet. You want to drive the best cars? Yeah. You know, because there's doctors here, and never be fooled. You want to take the greatest vacations in exclusive 4 seasons, Ritz-Carlton Club levels, Mandarin Oriental, the best of the best. It's simple. Start rubbing elbows with entrepreneurial chiropractors that are living a dream life. And I promise you, something good will rub off. We're in this business together, Dr. K and myself, now for over 70 years. Can you imagine? Over 70 years. And with no regrets. We said we saw chiropractic different. We saw chiropractic as an opportunity to take the heavyweight championship of the world, meaning your title, the DR, to be able to be the end-all, be-all savior for so many of the patients that depend upon you, doctors, because you save their lives every day, that get emotional. Holy cow. These are patients, we spoke about that last week in neuropathy, that I love taking care of neuropathy patients because neuropathy patients seem to, I guess, I don't know if it's because of their age, maybe because of the simple fact that they've been taking Lyrica and Cymbalta and gabapentin, Neurontin, and maybe because they've been told there's nothing else you can do, and they're a little upset, and they're a little down in the dumps, and they're a little depressed, and then they find you, doctor. And the only reason they found you is because you were so much better at positioning yourself. And where'd you learn that? You learn that at the ChiroVet. Because what do we do at the ChiroVet? We sit there and we show you marketing example after marketing example after marketing example after marketing example. And if you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, you know what? Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold the presses. Time out. I know where this is going. They're going to give me the hard close. Well, I got a secret to share with you. Not only is it not a hard close, it's a zero close. Zero. And I'll prove it to you. No contracts. No pressure. No obligation, nothing to sign. And if you're curious, you say, wait a minute, don't at least I get an opportunity to join the family? And my answer to you is maybe. And the reason it's maybe is because, let's be very frank here. There's a reason that our family members here are family members. It's because they had the big idea, that their intent was obviously not just to make money, which is great, but their intent was to serve their market in a way that they could have never done so without being part of the family. In other words, they wanted to tap into the 30, 40, 50, 60, 80%. They wanted the patients that were getting ready to get an epidural injection. They wanted the patients that were scheduled for a laminectomy, for a microdiscectomy, for a spinal fusion, for a foraminotomy. These are the patients that might be on their second back surgery, their third back surgery. These are the patients that have metal in their back. These are the patients that were scheduled for an epidural injection. And listen, like the great saviors that you are here for a reason here tonight. I'm not here to motivate you, but what I am here to tell you is that if you want motivation, get your ass to the Cairo event on May 30th. And you're going to get the two greatest books on motivation put in your hand. One is a set of CDs. One is the actual brand new 1-minute motivator. You'll be the first doctors on the planet to actually walk away with a physical hard copy of it. And I got to tell you, we've had fun doing this, and we've got more fun. No one's had more fun than Dr. Kaplan and myself. You can see when you get in our universe and you get a chance to come down to South Florida, Palm Beach County, you get a chance to put your feet in the sand if you want. You get a chance to eat great food, and you get a chance to see what your future could look like. But it all starts with one step, one action step. Life favors the people, the doctors that take one action step. I would have never been in the position that I was if I didn't take one action step. And thank goodness there was a momentum behind that. So before we go tonight, Dr. K, would you be so kind to share just some parting words with our incredible family of doctors? Because I was so excited. We got Dr. Rich Mugavero on here, Dr. Raymond Cementi from New York, family member, Nick Viscuzzi, family member, Napa Valley, California. I mean, you guys are here. Sonny Gattro, Charlotte, North Carolina, Tom Caputo. I mean, Sewanee, Georgia. The party just keeps going on. And Dr. George, by the way, can't wait to see you May 30th. You snagged the seat at the Cairo event on May 30th. Dr. K, before we go, would you share some parting words?
You know, as I look at the room and I see guys like Carl Abramson, I see guys like, Tom Caputo, from New Jersey. I see Tom Ferrigno, who dominates Northern California. Tom's a great story, Perry, because, Tom actually was one of the only, because I said at one of the meetings that I don't know of any chiropractor that had the coronavirus. Tom actually got it on a cruise ship. But guess what? Never had to be on a ventilator. Through basic chiropractic care, through natural remedies, Tom is back. He's back in the office. He's back treating people. What we do as chiropractors, nobody else in the world can do when you have realized the miracle of life that you do and that he's done it. When you got a guy like Roy Ossenson, who's like 6'10", and his heart is bigger than his body, and he's out there doing it. And I see Dan Weymouth from California. I mean, I see people out there. And one of my favorites is Nick Viscuzzi. Nick used to work for The Joint. The Joint. And the happiest day is the last certification program. He brought me his Joint shirt. And now he doesn't have one, he has 2 offices. And I see a guy like Ray from New York who's going to change his life. And then you have Greg Salem. Greg, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And then you have guys like you, Michael Smith, that are so motivational to me. You motivate me, you inspire me. I mean, guys like you and Brigitte and my son Jason and his wife Stephanie do it. And Lisa, I know you came on board, you were scared. You're already closing cases. I mean, the world is going to get better. And so I'm talking about people from California, like Joe, you in Connecticut, New York. I mean, you name a state and we're there. And this is the greatest time. Sonny, I expect such great things from you in North Carolina because I know how talented you are. But you know what? When Perry talks about the one thing The one thing, here's what it comes down to, doctors, is your belief in yourself. The one thing is your belief in yourself. The one thing is your belief in the chiropractic. The one thing is your belief in the chiropractic adjustment. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in the chiropractic adjustment, if you believe in what you do, then you will make a difference in people's lives. Because if you've ever had a chance, you know, when we went to school, we talked about faith, confidence, and belief. If there was ever a time for faith, if there was ever time for confidence, if there was ever time for belief, now's the time. Because if you don't believe now, doctors, you're in the wrong industry. You know, when I look at people like Michael and Frank and people that went out there and did their job, they're saying they have faith in what they do. And you know what? The bottom line is every study shows that people that get adjusted have a higher immunity than people that don't get adjusted. I mean, I'm looking at this. We've had a lot of people on week after week. Guess what? That are still out there treating people. They're not only not getting corona, they're closing cases. How cool is that? Our clients close cases. If you want to take your practice to the next level, come to the event. If you're a client, you need to come to another boot camp. If you don't have something in samples, call Brigitte. So I am grateful to Dr. Perry Bard for putting this together, to realize the profession needs us. So again, the one thing I'm going to ask you is to invite one of the chiropractors to come next week. Let's have the chiropractic, chiropractic, the one thing I used to always say about chiropractors, we circle the wagons and we shoot at each other. It's time for us to stop shooting ourselves. It's time for us, even if it's Zoom away, to hold hands. We can Zoom hold hands and take this profession to another level, because you know what? Without you, without us, there is no chiropractic. You are the future. So I thank you, Perry Bard, for being so much of my present and so much of my past and the highlight of my future, for doing this every week.
Life favors the action takers. Life favors the doctors that have the courage and the bravado. And yes, maybe a little cockiness too. Nothing wrong with a little cockiness, because you know what? If you know that you know, and you know what I'm talking about. If you went to Life College, you walked out with that tagline, you'll know that you know. And what does that mean? Heck, they told me that for years. I had no clue what that meant. And then I hit the ground running. And what it meant was that I knew what to do when a challenging case came my way. I knew what to do when a patient came to me as really the last option. I knew what to do because I surrounded myself with the right doctors who were teaching the right content for the right reason at the right time. That's a lot of rights. And if you want to do the right thing, then grab a seat, because it'll be a game changer and a life changer for yourself, your practice, your family, and your future. The date is May 30th, and we hope to see you then. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging with us tonight. We had fun here tonight. Contact Dr. Rosenberg for the best topical analgesic on the planet, and I'm excited to see you doctors, obviously, at the boot camps, and also to May 30th, the Chiro event. Have a great night, and go watch the draft.